some of the brightest minds in the precious mining industry have warned that both the price of gold and the price of silver will rise dramatically when the global economy inevitably collapses, and their goals have turned out to be correct. What we have witnessed in the past few weeks was nothing striking, and many experts believe it is just the beginning. But I would actually record about something completely different today. A major clash between Israel and Hezbollah across the Lebanese border has limited the entire region for a few hours, but things seem to be cooling right now, so it does not seem like a major regional war will begin in the Middle East today. It's a matter of time when I see a big conflict eruption and developments very closely. There are many elements of the perfect storm that we have now, and global events are happening so quickly that it's hard to keep up with all of them. But one thing you can almost rely on is that almost every bad news will be good news for gold price and silver price. All over the world, national governments responded to the COVID-19 outbreak by recklessly spending money, and central banks responded with a frenzy of creating money unlike anything we have seen before. Since currencies around the world surprisingly devalued, it was inevitable to see the rise of gold and silver, and we witnessed that exactly. In fact, the price of gold broke a new record on Monday. Gold touched record prices as worries over issues such as the coronavirus pandemic, as well as US-China tensions, weighed on investor sentiment. Spot gold traded up 1.9% at about $1,938.11 per ounce after earlier trading as high as $1,943.9275 per ounce. Those levels eclipsed the previous record high price set in September 2011. On a percentage basis, the price of silver is actually moving even faster than the price of gold. And on Monday, we witnessed a move which surprised just about everyone. At the close of trading today, the silver price surged by nearly $2. According to kitco.com, silver closed at $24.72, up $1.91 for the day. I can't remember the last time silver jumped nearly $2 in one day. Of course, last Tuesday and Wednesday were big days for silver, but not $2. What is interesting about the last few minutes of trading, silver closed right at the highs. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in early Asian trading if silver breaks above its new short-term resistance level. As I record this podcast, the price of silver has now risen above $26 an ounce, and overall it is up more than 90% since the middle of March. Since mid-March, the price of silver is up more than 90%, making it one of the top performing asset classes since the bear market low earlier this year. It's also up more than 22% just during the month of July alone. The rapid decline in the dollar, negative real yields, ballooning deficits, and additional government stimulus likely on the way are all fueling the current precious metals rally. All of these factors support a further rally in commodities, but it's also becoming one of the more crowded trades in the financial markets. Meanwhile, the US economy continues to deteriorate. For a while, many of the mainstream media have been presenting the possibility of a V-shaped improvement, but now they openly admit that this will not happen. For example, the following comes from CBS News story just posted. The economic recovery that began in May is sputtering. Recent data shows Americans cutting their spending and many businesses reclosing their doors as the number of COVID-19 cases in the US crosses 4 million, rising concerns about another slowdown in growth. The foundations to this recovery are cracking under the weight of a mismanaged health crisis. Gregory Decaux, chief US economist at Oxford Economics, told investors in a report. This means that more businesses will fail and even more workers will be fired. In fact, MGM Resorts and other major casino operators in Las Vegas area have sent legal notices stating that mass firings are coming. Shares of MGM Resorts were falling over 6% in afternoon trading Monday after Las Vegas casinos notified their staff that if they were not recalled from furlough by August 31st, they would subsequently be fired. Major employers are required under the Federal Worker Adjustment and Retraining Notification Act, which is WARN Act, to notify their workers when there are expected to be mass firings. MGM Resorts, Wynn Resorts, Tropicana, and other casino operators send out such notifications. Considering the vast majority of MGM employees in the entertainment and sports division will lose their positions, and Las Vegas already has one of the highest unemployment rates of the entire nation, it will certainly not be easy to find new jobs. Elsewhere, United Airlines has announced that it may have to lay off 36,000 employees. This represents almost half of the US workforce for the airline, and other major airlines are expected to make similar cuts. Many unemployed workers will not only be able to pay their bills, and CNBC tells us that the US may be facing an unprecedented evacuation crisis soon. An unprecedented eviction crisis will soon hit the US. On Friday, the federal moratorium on evictions and properties with federally backed mortgages and for tenants who receive government-assisted housing expired. The Urban Institute estimated that provision covered nearly 30% of the country's rental units. Many states have set up their own evacuation moratoriums, but most of them continue. Unless new moratoriums are set up, millions of Americans will be evacuated soon, and according to one estimate, a potential total of 40 million Americans can be evacuated throughout the entire pandemic. The proceedings have resumed in more than 30 states. The moratorium in Hawaii and Illinois end this week, and in August evictions will pick up in New York and Nevada. By one estimate, some 40 million Americans could be evicted during the public health crisis. Think about this. What will this country look like if 40 million people are thrown into the streets? As I always warned, this economic downturn will make the final recession look like a Sunday picnic. Economic suffering will come out the tables, and there is not much that can be done to stop it at this point. Yes, Congress will spend more incentive bills, and the Federal Reserve will continue to generate money at an astonishing rate. These measures will not only provide temporary relief for the real economy, but will also be the ears of every gold and silver investor. Things have gone crazy, and they will just get more crazy. Hold on tight, because the rest of 2020 will definitely be interesting. Most of the idea, comment, information, and criticism containing in these videos have been created by Daily News Report. Before making any important investment decision, use the information contained in these videos as a starting point for conducting your own research. If you make any investment or legal decision, it is advised to consult an expert before making this decision.